Good day, good students of Plus Model Schools, Otumadu. You're welcome to Basic Science class. And my name is Taylor Samson Addition. I will be your tutor for today. Before we go to this week's topic, we'll need to do a little revision on what we did last week. Last week we talked about thermal energy, talked about application of convection and radiation. We also talked about the definition of geothermal energy plants. Talk about some application of conductor like heat conduction is applied in cooking with metals, ironing of clothes with pressing irons, so on and so forth. Talk about application of convection. Talk about the cooling of the car engine, which is by convection. We'll talk about land and sea breezes are phenomena based on convection of air. Talk about heating of water through heater, all those things on convection. Also, we talk about application of radiation, we talk about cooking in microwave ovens, communication with mobile phones, so on and so forth. Now, today, I told you last week to read up on crude oil. I believe you've done that, and we'll be talking about crude oil and petrochemicals today. We're talking about crude oil and petrochemicals today. Now, let's talk about the meaning of crude oil. What is crude oil? Crude oil, which is also referred to as petroleum, is a naturally occurring flammable liquid consisting of a complex mixture of hydrocarbons. Let me take that again. Crude oil, which is also refers to, that means you can also call crude oil as petroleum, is a natural, that means natural, it is God made. It is not man-made. Nobody created it. It is only God that knows how it exists. That's what we call natural. Anything that is natural, that means it is what? It is God made. It is naturally made. Occurring flammable liquid consisting of a complex mixture of hydrocarbons. You might not understand hydrocarbons. When you get to your senior level, you understand more about hydrocarbons. Hydrogen and carbons of various molecular weights and other liquid organic compounds. Now, they are also found from the remains of dead plants. Isn't that interesting? Remains of dead plants and animals beneath the earth's surface, which occurs naturally in the ground and was formed millions of years ago. That means the remains, this crude oil we're talking about, is the remain of dead plants and animals, even human beings, that are beneath the earth's surface, which has occurs in the ground and was formed millions of years ago. I repeat, millions of years ago. So this has happened millions of years ago that we were just extracting and taking out. So that is that about crude oil. Let's still continue on the meaning of crude oil. It is recovered mostly through oil drilling. That is the only way you can get crude oil. Though some parts of Nigeria you don't have to drill, because you'll be seeing them splashing on the earth's surface. That is how abundant it is in those areas. I think the eastern part of Nigeria, like Port Harcourt, like Cross River, all those places, they are oil producing states. So you can achieve them, or you can recover them mostly through oil drilling. This later stage comes after the study of structural geology. That means you must have studied the area. You must have known that there is crude oil in the area. You cannot just start drilling. You must have taken some steps, study maybe the crude oil is present in that area before you start drilling. Crude oil can be refined and separated most easily by boiling point into a large number of consumer products. That means it can be separated and reproduced into a very large number of consumer products that we can use, from petrol to kerosene to asphalt to chemical reagents used to make plastic and pharmaceuticals. It's just that you have to change the boiling point. As higher the boiling point is going, they will be giving you different products. That's what they are trying to most easily by boiling point. As higher the boiling point is going, it will be giving you what? Different products. It is used in manufacturing a wide variety of materials. You can use crude oil to manufacture so many variety of materials. The major source of hydrocarbon is crude oil or petroleum. That is the major source. The major source of hydrocarbon is what? Crude oil or petroleum. Petroleum means rock oil in Latin. That means in Latin, the Latins call it rock oil. Petroleum available on the land is called onshore deposit, while those under deep water body, especially ocean, is called offshore deposit. That means the petroleum that you see on the land, it is what we call onshore deposit, while the one that you can extract or drill at the base or deep water body, especially ocean, is called offshore deposit. Now, having been talking about petroleum since morning, I believe you understand or you could say something about crude oil with all the things that I've been saying. Now let's go to petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are chemicals made from byproduct of petroleum, which is crude oil. It is made from what? Crude oil that we just explained, and natural gas. Petroleum and natural gas are made up of hydrocarbon molecules. They are made up of what? That means hydrogen and carbon molecules. And these molecules are comprised of one or more carbon atoms to which hydrogen atoms are attached. That means each of the carbon atoms, the hydrogen atoms are also what? Attached to it. Petroleum and natural gas are increasingly used to produce many organic compounds. You can use it to produce so many organic compounds. So many examples. Let's see the example of the organic compounds that can be produced from petroleum and natural gas. We have the ethanol, we have the ethane, the propanol, benzene, and toluene. All these things that I just mentioned, they are natural organic. They are example of organic compounds. You will know much about them when you get to the higher level. But as this your level, just know the examples of organic compounds that can be produced from petroleum and natural gas as ethanol, ethane, propanol, benzene, and toluene. These small molecule organic compounds are in turn used to make large molecular organic compounds like your plastic, all those plastic plates that you see around us, your synthetic rubber, detergents, insecticide that you use to kill your insects, synthetic fibers like daikon and nylon, your normal nylon that you use to wrap your food, which has made an impact in manufacturing industry. All these things are the byproduct of petrochemicals or crude oil. Only about 5% of oil and gas consumed each year is needed to make all petrochemical products. Imagine, you just need only 5% out of 100% of oil and gas consumed each year is needed to make a petrochemical product. People that do the exploration are called geophysicists. Note this very well. People that do exploration of crude oil and petrochemicals, they are called what? Geophysicists, petroleum engineer, and geologists. Geophysicists, petroleum engineer, and geologists. Geologist simply means the study of earth, surface, or even earth. That means the study of earth. That's the meaning of geologist. Geology. Now, after saying all this, I believe you should be able to answer the following questions. I believe at the end of this lesson, you should be able to define crude oil. You've done that. You should be able to define petrochemicals. We've done that also. You should be able to mention 4 examples of organic compound. I believe we've done that. And you should be able to say the names of who explore oil. People who explore oil, you should be able to mention their names, or you list their names. The geophysicist, the geologist, and the what? And the petroleum engineer. Now, your assignment. I want you to write 10 countries of the world that produces crude oil. You can Google that. Write 10 countries in the world that produces crude oil. I don't want you to mention Nigeria because you already know that Nigeria is part of them. So I don't want you to mention Nigeria. Mention 10 other countries that are very rich or in crude oil. Till I see you next class, my name is Taylor Samson Adeshina. Have a nice day.